What's going on, Facebook? DJ Frosty Freeze back in the building. What are we talking about today? We're talking about doctors sending their kids back to school, COVID troubles in Texas, and good old Ted Cruz. He believes he understands the grand master plan. Let's get into it.
I am DJ
Frosty Freeze. Let the attack begin.
What's going on? I'd like to welcome you to another night with your boy DJ Frosty Freeze. So apparently in Texas, COVID, the Rona, it attacked a family called the Green family over the last week. And after largely staying away from each other during the whole pandemic crisis and social distancing and all that stuff, apparently after they lifted the restrictions in Texas or Dallas, wherever they were, they decided they were going to go out and have a good old family summertime barbecue. And guess who decided to show up? That's right, Rona herself. Decided to bomb the party, jumped right in. Rona wanted some of them ribs too. She says, if you want it, I'm going to give it to you. And she did. So 14 family members attended this thing immediately after those restrictions were lifted. And apparently somebody had that virus and they probably didn't know. And this brings into question, who do you trust? Who do you trust with the virus? Who do you know that you think you can trust? This family had 14 members gather in an outside environment, backyard barbecue. Everybody felt safe. They were all family members. They were all staying in touch. Everybody was supposed to be doing good. And somehow they passed the virus to each other. So, the question is, who do you trust? Well, that's the problem, I guess, right? When there's no strategy for everyone to follow, people will just start making up their own strategies. And you'll get into this thing where folks don't know what to do. Appreciate it. Anyway, I know from my personal experience, I tend to question everybody that wants to come see me, or wherever I go, I kind of pay close attention to what's going on, and I got my reasons for that, and I ain't going to spend too much time on that tonight, what my personal situation is. I'll do that on another video, another podcast. But we're talking about this family in Texas, Dallas, Texas, the Green family. 14 members attended a barbecue. One of them was sick with the virus. Now, we know that they weren't taking it seriously, coming from the family representative's mouth. His name is Tony Green. He flat out admitted that he wasn't taking it seriously. He didn't believe it was as serious as the media was portraying. But if you know anything about that area in particular, they only get usually one news source out there, and the rest of them they kind of push to the side. But that's another story in itself. But the family decided to get together for a barbecue. And somebody had that virus. I'm not sure exactly who it was. But they ended up spreading it throughout the family. 14 people ended up catching that virus. And the sad part is that if they're not taking it seriously, one of those people ends up in the hospital, passes away. Another one currently critical on a ventilator. Not sure if they're going to make it or not. And the question is, who do you trust? Who can you trust? You have to be honest. The people have to be honest that want to come hang around you, that want to be around you. They have to know who's who, where they've been, who they've talked to, and treat it seriously, because the people that were at this barbecue, they didn't even know. They didn't even know they had it. They weren't showing any symptoms or anything like that. And they're just now starting to get severely sick with it. And this happened in June, I think June 12th, I believe. And here we are, almost a month later, and a bunch of the family members are pretty ill, pretty sick. Deathly sick, as a matter of fact. Now, me personally, I know that there are a lot of folks, and I know a lot of them that are out there and trying to use numbers and all this kind of stuff, and we're arguing about masks and all this kind of thing. But in all seriousness, the virus ain't no joke. Man, you guys got to pay attention. You got to be communicating with your family. These were all family members. They thought they knew. I mean, were they tested? Does anybody know? No, they didn't say. You know, nobody knows if they were tested. Nobody knows how it was getting passed around, if it was, you know, somebody was hanging out at a bar. But all I know is they were waiting to get out of this quarantine. And as soon as they got out of that quarantine, they just went out and had a big old party in the backyard. And that's the thing, you know, we feel safe. We're outside. We feel good. We're in the open. And we're still trying to figure out. I mean, the doctors are still trying to figure out how this thing is spreading. So with so much uncertainty out there, you got to be communicating with your family. You got to be communicating with your friends. And you got to be honest with each other. You got to know where people are going and who they're with. Because some people don't even know if they're carrying this thing and they're passing it on to people. And everybody's bodies are going to treat this thing differently. So you got to pay attention. What's going on, Dina? Karen, good to see you. Mike, good to see you. Mike Nichols, good to see you, buddy. I appreciate you guys stopping in. But I want you to know this virus is serious. And the guys in Texas, this Tony Green was admitting that he wasn't taking it serious. He didn't believe it was as serious as the media was portraying it. You know, he kept saying everything was the media's fault and all this, and it's all hysteria. And he just flat out admitted that he didn't take it serious until it hit close to home. And I know people that are in this same mindset. I've heard it all, seen it all. I've argued with people for months. Don't want to take it serious. The statistics are telling me I got a good chance of not getting it. And although you may think that's true, you just never know. You know, and folks just aren't getting tested the way they should be. So there's a problem there. But then that goes into the question of, how do we bring our kids back to school? Are you willing to take that risk, right? We talked about this a couple nights ago. And some doctors apparently were weighing these options as well, whether or not they wanted to send their own kids to school. And the doctors basically talking about the risk and so forth. And me personally, I'll just tell you, if there's even a question about that, I wouldn't send my kid. They don't know how easily they're passing this stuff, but we do know that kids carry viruses and they're carriers. They're just straight up carriers. They pass things around. Think about chickenpox. You get close to somebody with the chickenpox virus, them kids just spread that thing like wildfire. So I wouldn't see that being much different from any other illnesses that they get, and that they're passing around these schools. They pack them in there like sardines. Hey, good to see you too, Tom. Glad to have you. You know, I just don't see that. But the doctors are even questioning it. They're looking at it from a perspective of how prevalent it is within their area. So it's all over the place. Apparently 20 doctors were asked, would they send their children to school? Most of them were apprehensive because there's just not enough definitive information about that. So I can understand that. But then others are thinking, well, if they get certain things in place, if they cordon off the kids, reduce the class sizes, you know, the COVID isn't really that bad in our area. We might have a couple cases, or some areas may not have cases. And I guess I can see that, you know, it's a case by case scenario. But if there was ever a question of whether or not the child could get this thing, and I go back to this family in Texas, and say they bring it home to somebody in Texas, and that person may not be showing symptoms, but they pass it on to the rest of the family, and now we got 2 dead and 1 critical, or 1 dead and 1 critical, and possibly more from just that one that one person that wanted to go out and have a good time with his family, and they were with their family. They weren't even out hanging out at a bar or anything like that. You know, they weren't hanging out at a bar, going to a movie. You know, they weren't even. They know exactly where it was spread. So things to think about. The coronavirus is real. It's not a joke. And my best friend growing up had just got out of the hospital. He spent a little over a week in the hospital, and he thought he was gonna die. Thank God he made it. But it's serious, you know. And he was one of those too that wasn't taking it too seriously, and he thought that, you know, it's not gonna hit me. You know, I'm outside. I work outside. Everything's good. But he doesn't even know how he got it, and somehow he got it. He got sick. You know, he's diabetic, and he made it through, thankfully. But it was pretty close for him, and he was scared. You know, so I don't take it too lightly when things like this happen. I kind of watch where I am, and I try to do my part in staying away from people. So that's what's going on. The doctors are mixed. They have mixed reviews on that. But until they get some kind of definitive program set up, I don't think I'd be willing. I don't think there's no amount of money or any amount of money out there that would cause me to risk putting my children at stake, much less letting them have the opportunity to bring it home. So the least you can do, get the mask on. It's not a big deal. It's a mask. You wear it for a few hours or whenever you're out in public and you know you're going to be around other people, put the dang thing on, even if it's around family. You know, your family has to be honest with you, but come on, we all know our family members, right? So pay attention, you know, watch what's going on. Talk, communicate, let everybody know where they're going, where they've been, where they plan on going, so at least you can make the right decision for yourself. If they want to go out and do all that, you know, and they want to live recklessly, let them do that. Let them go out and be reckless. But at least tell somebody that you want to be reckless so you can make the right decisions for yourself. All right. Oh, man, we got some stuff for you today. Ted Cruz, he has the master plan all figured out. Good old Ted Cruz. Yeah, my man Ted. Raphael. He says he's got it all figured out. The Democrats have this grand master plan. They want to keep you out of the schools. They want to keep you out of the schools. They want you to shut all the bars and all the restaurants down because they want to stop Donald Trump. Come on, man, that's ridiculous. We all know that's ridiculous. Trump ain't that serious for everybody to want to shut everything down just for him. I can guarantee you, Democrats own businesses as well. They go to school as well. They do all the same things that Republicans do. And I can guarantee you they ain't going to risk shutting everything down to hurt Donald Trump. At this point, I don't even think they need to. If you're paying attention to the polls, and yes, there is 100 days left until the elections. If you're paying attention, all they got to do is hold the line for the next 100 days. 3 months, that's it. Hold the line. Biden don't even got to say anything. Trump's doing it for him. That's what's happening. All right, man. Take it easy, Tom. It's good to see you. Glad to see you, Hope. Thanks for stopping in. Just a reminder that now that I got your attention and everybody's here, the DJ Frosty Freeze Facebook fan page will be gone soon. I'm thinking by Tuesday next week. So get over to Freeze Frame Radio Facebook page and like that page. Subscribe, all that good stuff. Get on Instagram, F Radio 76 on Twitter, Instagram, Freeze Frame Radio 76. Get on all those pages. Have the link for the website up here pretty soon. We want to get you on these things. We want you engaged. We want you to check us out and get all your news as we move along here. I'm going to be giving myself I'm going to give you guys a little talk in the next couple days and start from the beginning, since some of you guys are just now getting new to the channel and stuff like that. I won't be doing too many on Facebook. You'll be able to get the replay on YouTube, where you can go over to YouTube and check out Freeze Frame Radio. We're actually streaming live over there too right now. But for those of you on Facebook, you'll get the archive, because we're gonna move this thing over to Mixcloud. And if you look at the scrolling screen right now, you can see the link to Mixcloud. And the reason for Mixcloud is because on Mixcloud, not only do we get the podcast there, I'm also licensed to play music that you would normally hear on the radio without getting copywritten, or the copyrighted, and they'll take us down. I don't want to be taken down, so I decided to set up Mixcloud and get this over on Mixcloud. It'll be the same thing you're seeing now, but only you'll have the music on there and in between segments. Lately, all we've been doing is 1 or 2 segments on here because I haven't been able to put a break in between without throwing a commercial, and I don't want to be throwing commercials in here. I'd rather be talking to you, it's sharing this time with you guys. And I appreciate everybody stopping in. Thanks for stopping out. Karen, I see you. I appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in there. Sarah, I see you too. I see you in the chat scrolling up there. Pretty soon we'll get this thing together where we can chat back and forth. Just know that I'm recognizing you all, and I appreciate you stopping in. I'm going to jump off of here, but be sure to get on those other pages. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the notification button, or wherever you're at, so you know when the videos come on. I usually do these once a day in the evening. I'm going to get a set time frame set up here as soon as I figure out my other schedules. And when I do that, I'll be sure to let you know. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the flip.
DJ, your girlfriend's favorite DJ, DJ Frosty Freeze.